Water activated mixed media. Want to work alongside me? Here's what you'll need. You'll definitely want to pause this video to collect these items. Alright, let's get started. We're going to have some fun with water. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about how water activates your watercolors. And if you don't have watercolors at home, don't panic. You can still have fun turning your magic markers into paint. Take a dry plastic lid, add some marker ink. I'm using all primaries because, as you know, if I mix the primaries, I can get every color in the rainbow. So you only need to have red, yellow, and blue, okay? And then you're ready to paint with your marker ink. You just need a little bit of water, and then you're ready to start mixing and blending your colors. Now you might need to have a paper towel nearby so that you can dry off your brush in between colors. So that way you can mix a nice clean orange. Woo, that turned fluorescent. Awesome. All right, so there's an orange. So now I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Oh, what am I missing? That's right, purple. So I'm just going to clean my brush, tap off on the side, grab some of that pink, move it on over to some of that blue, turn it into purple, okay? You can see it's really easy to blend your colors. Okay, one tip, do not do this. Do not take a marker and put it on something wet. That's going to ruin your marker. Okay, so if you need more marker ink, try on a side that's dry, or wipe away an area to make sure it's dry. Okay, and then you can add more. Okay? All right. So, water is so much fun with watercolors. I love just making a fun design and then watch this. I'm going to activate my watercolors by getting them wet. Blue's one of my favorite colors. I'm going to use blue. Just can't stop using blue. And I'm just going to tap it right in. And you're going to watch as the water runs all the way around whatever spot is wet. It's not going to go into the dry paper because it doesn't have a road to drive on, if that makes sense to you. So the watercolor likes to fill in where it's already wet. Does that make sense? Okay. So watch this, how they blend. So you can use your water, swipe it on the side to get it nice and clean. You can pick up a little more water if you need it. Bring it into a color you think will blend nice. I'll make a nice turquoise. So I'm going to add some green. Activate my green by scooping up the water, dropping it into the green, and watch this. You'll see it's only going to stay where the paper is already wet. Super fun to do. What happens if you get your paper too wet? I feel like I can hear you through this video. That's right, you're going to rip your paper. So be really careful when you're making these swimming pools to give it time to dry in between. Okay, so while your fun designs are drying, you can have some fun and explore other areas of your paper. Okay, so just to let you know, if you have forgotten some of our watercolor techniques, if you put wet next to wet, they're going to naturally blend in. You're going to watch these two colors are going to start mixing, because remember, watercolor will go anywhere that is already wet. So if you don't want green to blend with red because you think it's going to make like a brownish color, then take a break from working right there and start a new design. So this design is dry paper with wet paint on top. So it's only going to go where you make your brush strokes. Okay. Activate some new colors. I didn't use too much water here, so they're not really blend up. There's some activation going on there. There's some blending. Oh yeah, let's watch it blend. Now there's something fun I would like, if you have this at home, give it a try. There's 2 ingredients you can use. One ingredient is called rubbing alcohol. Parents might have this in their first aid cabinet. Ask first and ask for help, okay? Because you only need a little bit of it. The second ingredient is salt. Everyone should have this, most likely in their food pantry or in their kitchen somewhere. Again, ask for help before you get it. This is my bag of art salt, so it's pretty dirty. I will not be using this again, except in art projects. So make sure that when you use food items, they don't get returned back into the kitchen. So just take what you need and then save the rest for baking with later, okay? So separate what you need, keep the rest of it clean, okay? So salt and the rubbing alcohol really only works if your project is still wet. Okay, so you take a pinch of your salt, and all those salt crystals you're just gonna sprinkle onto your project, and wherever it is most wet, you're going to see those salt crystals doing something fun. Do you know what it's called? It's absorbing the water. Okay, so you can see some of those crystals have already absorbed some water, and with that, some paint. So I'm gonna let this dry, and I'll brush this off later to show you my results, okay? And while we're waiting for that, let's give the rubbing alcohol a try, okay? So first I need some wet paper. Not a swimming pool, just damp, okay? Then I'm going to add my colors. And I want it to be decently wet. Not soaking wet, just wet, okay? Enough so that you can have fun blending your colors together. Oh yeah, there's a nice color. Nice aqua coming out of that. Now, I've also separated some rubbing alcohol for art. This is just for art. It's not going back in my medicine cabinet. You might like to put some into a small container so that you can use it, okay? So ask for help. You just need a tiny bit, like that much, not a lot at all. Use your paintbrush. And you can just drop it right onto your project and see what happens. This is a really interesting science effect. Something's going on with the paints and the rubbing alcohol and the water. Does anybody know what's happening to it? It's pretty interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts. So once this dries, I'm going to end up turning this into a collage, and I'll show you how much fun that can be after it's all nice and dry. So stay tuned. Pro tip, do you have any markers at home that are dried out? This one's pretty dried out. I would throw this marker out because it's just annoying to color with. But knowing what I know, I would actually, instead of throwing it out, turn it into watercolor. So you dip it into your water, dip, not a lot, just a dip, and start. Oh my goodness, this is so juicy. And you can just start drawing whatever you want to draw. With this new marker, you can paint with it or you can draw with it. You can have a ton of fun with dried up markers. Woo! Look how awesome this marker works now that it's been activated with water. Cool. And then if I want, I can go ahead and color it in with watercolors. Why not, right? Why not? So who knows what it's called when you mix your different art mediums. If you just said mixed media, good job. So now we're turning this project into a mixed media piece of art. Wow. You guys are becoming fantastic artists. Activate that yellow. It's a little dirty. Who remembers how to clean dirty paints? First, get it wet. Tickle the surface of your paint. That's going to remove any of that dirty stuff. I'm not pressing down hard. I'm just tickling the surface. And who knows what to do after that. If you said get a paper towel and absorb it, you're right. So you just get your paper towels, soak it up, nice and new. Okay, there's 2 pro tips I just showed you. What? Wow. All right, I'm gonna keep having fun painting while this dries. Oh, I can't stop painting. I'm having so much fun. Okay, we'll be back in a second. All right, we're back and my project is dry. Let's take a look. So here is where we had rubbing alcohol. You can see it left these little pools or rings. That's really neat. And our salt, once I rubbed that away, it left these little tiny marks behind. Wherever there was little salt, you can see these are really fun texture that was created. Nice. All right, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to cut these shapes out and turn it into a collage. So for this next step, I'm going to need scissors. All right, now I have my pieces cut out. I'm going to choose a background. I have construction paper at home, but if you don't, you might have some newspaper or something that you can use for a background, like wrapping paper is even fun to do too. So I'm going to need my glue, and I don't have a glue stick, so I'm going to use Elmer's glue. When I use Elmer's glue, I can either do little tiny dots, or I can make a line. But what I like to do after that is spread it into a nice thin coat of glue. Okay, and now I can glue it onto my paper. I actually think I wanted to go off the side of the paper, so I'm going to let it overhang the corner like this. And this glue will dry nice and clear, so you won't see it. So again, you can put just a drop of glue and spread it around with your finger, or you can do lots of little dots. If you do lots of little dots, what I find is that sometimes it dries bumpy. So I like to spread those dots out all the way to the edges, and then your paper won't curl off of the paper. So your project will stay nice and flat. What if you don't want it to be flat? What if you want the petals to pop up? Well, just don't glue them down, okay? So you can leave them popping off of your paper like that. And then it's a nice, fun way to make a collage, popping off your paper. Okay, so just a little bit of glue there, spread it around. I'm gonna, again, put it up high and coming off the top of the paper, why not? Now to complete my collage, I'm gonna turn this into flowers. If you haven't guessed yet, it's gonna be flowers, so I need some stems. I have some chalk. Outdoor chalk works just as well. You can also use oil pastels or crayons, markers, whatever you have around at home. Okay, and you can just draw and complete your picture. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much fun doing this. Okay, don't forget you might like to put in some blades of grass. Ooh. Add some nice light ones to make it look like sunshine's hitting them. Oh, it's so pretty. And if you want, you can make some designs using your colors. You can add whatever you want. Little ant. Here's a little ant walking by. Doo, 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 doo. Here we go. Great. Make a butterfly, whatever you want. Okay, and there's my collage. I'm going to hang this up on my fridge.